As the aircraft approached our final destination, I wondered how much the Maldives had changed during my 54 years absence. I was aware that they had developed a massive tourist industry, with luxury resorts now built on nearly every island on the chain. However, for a group of islands supposedly threatened by extinction from rising sea levels, a massive amount of investment had been poured into the country, and the sight of the new inter-island bridge between Malé and the airport confirmed it was still going on. Just observing the skyline of Malé in the distance indicated that construction is big business in the Maldives. As we travelled from the airport wharf to join the vessel that was to be our home for the next week, I wondered what other surprises modern Maldives had in store for me. I wouldn't have long to wait. We were literally thrown in at the deep end next morning. When I said in the deep end, I should have said the deep blue end, as we found ourselves dropped onto the face of a steep reef, trying to keep one eye on our buddy and the other on what may emerge from the ocean depths, while the current swept us along the face of a fairly barren wall. Apart from the occasional inquisitive turtle, the reef was quite bare. Apparently, most corals in the northern islands had been destroyed in an extreme El Nino event in 1998. However, in many areas where the reef ridge met the incoming currents head-on, the upwelling nutrients caused the fish population to congregate and provided a never-ending parade for divers to enjoy. It was here that some members of the group were able to observe the grace of free-swimming sharks in their natural environment for the first time. Another phenomenon not seen before, by myself at least, was a Maori wrasse harassing a large bull ray. I'm not sure if the ray was injured or was hiding something, but whatever the wrasse did, the ray was not going to move. reef drift diving was to become the standard practice for the week, and we cruised the steep walls, searching overhangs and crevasses for photographic opportunities. Dive guides were also indispensable, as no matter how barren the reef looked, they seemed to know where to find those hidden gems to capture on film. Even the reef residents obligingly remained still, or asleep, for a photo shoot, even if they did appear totally bored with the whole process. In an effort to attract manta to facilitate a night dive, an array of lights was attached to the stern of the liveaboard. The result of this was the plankton and small fish soon raised the interest of some manta, which took the opportunity for a free feed. Amazingly, these filter feeders often consume up to 25 kilos a day. Not surprising, I guess, given that the giant manta can grow to almost 9 meters across. Unfortunately, the species has been placed on the vulnerable listing, not only because they are taken for food, but the gill rakes are used in various forms of Asian medicine. And since the female only gives birth to 1 or 2 offspring annually, the stocks are in decline. Unlike its cousins, the stingrays, the manta has no tail spike, but it does have teeth in its lower jaw. Not for eating, but scientists believe that males use them in the courtship process. With the largest brain of all fish, the manta is an amazing animal, and the wing action has often been compared to that of birds. For my part, they remind me of a Cold War Vulcan bomber, but with the manoeuvrability of a fighter. Certainly their navigation skills, especially at night, are incredible. They never hit a diver or each other in their underwater acrobatics.
Bodies with a pink eye, and the fingered corals, a lot of the stuff. The mantis ring, there is very pretty anemones in the slopes here in the east side, a bit more pretty for the clownfish pictures. Nice anemones with the clownfish. It's a nice place to practice pictures of the clownfish. Yeah, there is plenty of them, and that's it pretty much. There shouldn't be any current in here. Yeah, it's just an easy, relaxed dive. Around and around and around.
Not just along.
You cannot get lost here. You cannot get lost.
Famous last words.
Roger.
We'll put you the challenge.
The Maldives are not famous for wreck diving. In fact, the only one of interest that I know of is the British Loyalty, sunk off Gan in Adu Atoll, 500 kilometres to the south, which had a very interesting history. So the chance to do a wreck dive in this trip was very appealing. I descend and reality sets in. It's very difficult to get a decent shot of a wreck with 26 other divers sharing it. The vessel itself was scuttled for diving use several years ago, and it looks like it was stripped beforehand. However, it does provide a very pretty location for filming with colourful growth and soft corals clinging to the hull. Thousands of glassfish have made it home and dance around and inside the superstructure, which is festooned with loose and fallen cabling, making it inadvisable to enter. I'm using a wide-angle camera, so the small frogfish and other exotic creatures that allegedly inhabit the vessel are beyond my ability to capture, but I do see the dive guide showing them to other divers. Some more adventurous divers have gone internal and seem to be quite happy about it. With more and more divers creeping into the scene, we move towards the bow. Well, wreck dive over, rant over. Let's go and enjoy the pretty reef edge. there you have it. I told you it was a pretty reef. Now let's go and relax on deck. As the sun goes down, the divers prepare for a much anticipated night dive, this time with nurse sharks. Maldives law prevents us from accessing an area 600 metres from the island, and the dive boat will drop us off outside the limit, and we will swim underwater to a suitable sandy clearing and wait for the fun to begin.
It is. Like, I'll take the 35%.
The nurse sharks that we're expecting to see should not be confused with the grey nurse shark of Australia. This species is a favourite of divers as they are one of the most social sharks in the ocean, with a gentle nature and non-aggressive attitude. Having said that, as inoffensive as they appear, they are ranked 4th in documented shark bites in humans, possibly due to incautious behaviour by divers and other snorkelers. Nobody really knows why they're called nurse sharks. Some believe it comes from the ancient word nuse, which means cat shark, while others believe the name comes from the Old English term urse, which means seafloor shark. However, many scientists believe that the name comes from the unusual sucking sound they make while hunting that resembles the suckling of a nursing baby. Nurse sharks are nocturnal, hence the activity. They spend all day sleeping, but what is really so unusual about nurse sharks is that they will sleep together in very large groups. Sometimes these groups can contain up to 40 different sharks. Not only do they sleep together, they have been observed cuddling and snuggling, if you can believe it. Scientists aren't sure why nurse sharks prefer to sleep in groups, having a range of theories that they are very socially advanced or they sleep together as protection from predators like lemon and bull sharks. fish go, nurse sharks are a very large species of shark. They grow to 3.8 or more meters in length and weigh around 90 kilos. So if one bumps into you in the middle of the night, you know it's hit you. Since nurse sharks tend to inhabit environments like coral reefs, mangrove islands and sand flats where food is in abundance, they tend to eat a lot of different kinds of prey. They eat fish, other sharks, shrimp, sea urchins, octopus, stingrays, sea snakes, mollusks, tunicates and crustaceans. So basically, they'll eat anything. Just ask Andrew. One of the Maldives' major industries, apart from tourism, is tuna fishing, but carried out in a sustainable way using the traditional method of pole and line from a flat-decked boat. This method negates bycatch and helps maintain fish stocks. Local factories process and can the catch for export, and in some cases a new byproduct is generated. Waste expelled at the cannery wharf creates an unexpected bonanza for divers and fish alike. We call it diving in the fish tank. The site below the wharf is unassuming to say the least. There is no coral, no bottom growth and little colour. There are, however, plenty of fish. Thousands of small blue triggerfish, bannerfish, clownfish and boxfish, all overlaid with squadrons of stingray patrolling the slope. Suddenly, without warning, at some unheard command, every fish in sight turns as one and dashes up the slope. Squadrons of stingray, as if on a joint mission, join them, oblivious to anybody in their path. The end result is a melee at the wharf base, with everybody fighting for unseen scraps of food. The slope is also home to a colony of the largest, fattest moray I have ever seen in one place, popping up from every hole available. Different species live cheek by jowl in the same rock complex, one of them sporting a shortened tail where it had been bitten off. How long they had all lived here, I had no idea, but of one thing I was sure. Nobody was going hungry in the fish tank. quickly as it started, it was over. Calm returned to the wharf, and the stingrays resumed their patrol of the slope. Now for something completely different.
Do you think it's been doing that?
Is it proper video? So if I talk proper like he'll hear me. It's not that wide, but I